Making tests is never easy. Educators have been creating modules and worksheets for the past few months in preparation for the opening of classes. A part of that is creating tests and questions. And if you're having a hard time creating test questions for formative or summative assessment, I think it's a good idea to have a recap of the basic principles of test construction. Hi there! If you are new here, I'm Teacher Jelly, ang inyong teacherelang lingkod! Click the subscribe button and bell notification to get updated on our next videos. In this video, we'll talk about the basic guidelines that you can follow when creating test questions. First of all, let's know and review the classification of tests according to format. Number 1, we have standardized tests. These are the exams made by experts, and common examples would be the NCAE and National Achievement Tests. Number 2, we have the teacher-made tests. This is where we're going to focus on since this video is for teachers who are currently creating modules and worksheets. So basically, these teacher-made tests are constructed by classroom teachers to assess the progress of the students based on certain objectives and competencies covered. So itong mga teacher-made tests ay yung mga exam na tayo mismo ang gumawa. At ito ay base sa mga competency at topic na ating naituro sa klase. It's very hard to make questions that aren't based on competencies covered. So kung hindi po natin ito naituro, ay bakit naman po natin i-assess ang mga estudyante when they didn't learn it in the first place? So we have to make sure that we're only going to assess the competencies, the topics, and lessons that we taught. Under the teacher-made test, we have the objective type of test and essay type. And we're gonna focus on the objective types of tests. First on the list is the multiple choice test. Let's look at this example. Which of the following process takes place when ice cubes form vapor without passing through the liquid state? A. Transpiration, B. Condensation, C. Sublimation, or D. Evaporation. This part of the item is called STEM, and our STEM is followed by alternatives. So in this item, we have 4 alternatives, or we have 4 choices. Among the 4, we only have 1 answer. So the correct alternative is called the answer. The other 3 alternatives are called decoys, foils, or distractors. In Filipino, panggulo lang, diba? But we have to make sure that our foils, distractors, or decoys aren't too obvious or wouldn't give the student too much of a hint of the correct answer. You get my point? Later, I will tell you how we should arrange our alternatives or choices. So, hindi po siya kung ano lang yung mauna-una mong matay. We still have to observe certain rules. Next to that is the alternative response tests. An alternative response item should allow dichotomous responses. When we say dichotomous, we have 2 possible answers to choose from. And examples of alternative tests would be true or false, correct or incorrect, fact or opinion. We only have 2 possible answers. So when making this kind of test, we have to make sure that we use declarative statements. For example, is Blackpink a Korean girl group? True or false? That is incorrect because it shouldn't be a question but a statement. So it should be phrased this way. Blackpink is a Korean girl group, and then the students will have to answer true or false, fact or opinion. The third one is the matching type. It has 2 columns, as you know. The first column is called the premises, and the second column is called the responses. It's very easy. We should match the premise with the correct response. Now let's go to more test construction tips and reminders. Reminder number 1. Arrange the choices properly for multiple choice kind of test. Let's look at this example. If your alternatives are all one-word choices, it should be arranged alphabetically. Therefore, these choices should be arranged like this. Teacher Jelly, how about if the choices are 2 words or up to a sentence? If that's the case, the alternative should be arranged according to length, from shortest to longest. Let's take a look at this example. Looking at the alternatives, we know that they aren't arranged from shortest to longest. So let's try to arrange it now. It should look this way. Reminder number 2. Highlight, underline, or capitalize the word not on your instruction or item. Students tend to overlook this word. And when they overlook the word not, hindi nila napansin sa kanilang pagbabasa,
or hindi nila binasa,
they'll get items incorrect. To avoid that, not should be capitalized, underlined, or should be in bold. Third reminder, the answer should not have patterns. Pinattern nyo pala yung sagot sa pangalan nyo. Dada, ayun yung sagot sa 1 to 4.
Wag ganun.
Students can easily see and detect patterns. Eh syempre pag nakita na nila na meron palang pattern, ay hindi na nila babasahin yung mga susunod na tanong. Eh magbabase na lang sila doon sa pattern ng sagot.
And they won't read the entire exam anymore.
Reminder number 4, always have the STEM and the alternatives on the same page. Example, hindi na kasya, no? Dahil nagtitipid tayo sa papel, mahal kaya yung papel. So, ang ating item, ang ating tanong ay nandito sa dulo ng papel at dahil hindi na kasya, next page na yung choices. Ay mali po yun. Dahil una, mahihirapan yung bata magbalik-balik and there's a tendency na hindi na masyadong maunawaan yung tanong or malito sila dahil magkahiwalay yung tanong at yung choices. Number 5, make the alternatives grammatically consistent with the STEM. For example, inside the laboratory, signs and symbols inform students and blank. A. Preventing safety. B. Cause misinformation. C. Help avoid accidents. As you can see, letter A is not consistent now with the grammatical form that we have on our STEM. So, as you can see dito sa ating STEM, it says here, inform students, no? Pero dito, preventing, naka-ing yung ating verb. At dito naman ay consistent siya. So, what should we do? Simply make the alternatives consistent with your STEM. So, how to correct that? Just write prevent instead of preventing. And number 6, avoid abbreviations or acronyms unless that's what you're testing. For example, your question is, what does DOST stand for? Or what does PAGASA stand for? Then, acronyms and abbreviations will be okay for your STEM. But if not, you have to make sure that you have included the entire name of an agency or whatever. And that's it for today. I hope you find this video informative and helpful. Sana ay na-refresh kayo sa mga terms na pinag-aralan natin before, and I hope you will be able to apply these basic principles, reminders, and guidelines when constructing tests. I'll see you again on my next video. Bye-bye!